Welcome to a Tuesday rush hour talk. Yep. It's Tuesday, a work day. It's already 5 o'clock and it's already the end of the work day. Not even worth using the radar detector because what's the use? There's no cops here. So, fun intro. It's been a while. I know there's not that much views on the last video. Hopefully if people got the chance to see the last video, I was talking about the ZR2 and the new updated version of the Silverado, but this time it was around October 21st. As I predicted, it is the updated Silverado, not the Silverado, but the Sierra. It's twin, made in the same factory, and it's also got almost a similar interior, but GMC did a better job at it, to be honest. There is some new trims on the GMC Sierras now, so let's get on to it. The SLT is there. That's the base model. They have the work truck. The SLT, I think the SLT and the work truck is gonna have the column shifter, just like the work truck and below the LT for the Silverado will have the column shifter. But after the SLT, what is it, to the higher ups on the Sierras, that's the new one. The new one is the Denali Ultimate. That's the trim above the Denali. Then also we got a new AT4, a upper level AT4 called the AT4X, which is actually the ZR2 GMC edition of it, which one day I will do a comparison between the both of them and probably change the setting on this rather than me driving. So we're just gonna sit down and talk and then do like this little PowerPoint presentation, or kind of like a chat comparison between the ZR2 and the AT4X, which is interesting because they're almost similar, but there's some key differences exterior wise and interior wise. But the Sierra it has been really updated, and oh my gosh, it looks good. I mean, while the Silverado is there, I like the updates on it, but I think for me personally, GMC knocked this out of the park on the Sierra. Finally, really good looking interior, and coming out with a new, now the highest trim for the GMC Sierra is the Denali Ultimate. It's an 80K Denali. You can still get the regular Denali. The regular Denali is there, but it's just gonna miss a few bells and whistles on it. So, but I could do a comparison between the Denali and the Denali Ultimate, but it's gonna be a really short one. I could do that. So, I'll do an AT4X and a ZR2 Silverado comparison. And pretty much all the trims is gonna get the 6.2 liter V8 option. Some of them will have the 5.3 liter, and they will have the updated 2.7 Duramax. I think it's an update, the updated version of the Duramax 6-cylinder, inline 6. Yep. So that's what's been happening. A lot of revamps have been taking in place on the T1 platform, and the updates of the interior is very clean, very clean, and I really like it. You still get that electronic shifter. The Silverado has that electronic shifter that's on the floor, so those are the key things that a lot of people wanted, because you know, as much as we all love this beloved column shifter right here, and that's why I'm driving something a little reminiscent, but I think at the end of the day, we're shifting into a direction where people want 100% full control with the paddle shifters right here, both hands on the steering, and that's fair. And you know, for the lower trims, it's the right thing to do for the time being. I would wish an electronic e-gear on the column. That would be cool. So it could contain that kind of memory of, oh yeah, it's still column shifter, it's like an E-gear. I think Mercedes, yeah, if you guys remember my old videos of the column shift, I have that E-column shift gear. That was really useful, and I think that was a very good idea, but not a lot of people appreciate column shifters that much, so it is what it is. So the floor shifter is there. So, but if you still want a column shifter, I would suggest getting the work truck. And on top of that, the Silverado and the Sierra's work truck, the interior is not gonna be like the higher trim, so it's still gonna be like the old time ones. So yeah, people are going crazy. Welcome to 275. But it's gonna be like the last gen interior. If you, that basic interior, if you see it, it's still gonna be there. But if you want the updated interior of it, you're gonna have to go for the higher trims for it. So that's my take on the Silverado. And hear me out on this one. 5 days later, guess what came out? The Z06 Corvette C8. And here's my personal take on the Z06. While they showed the photo, they revealed that there is the Z07 package. The Z07 package has all the carbon fiber trims and all that, and has the giant wing. The same transmission you get on a standard C8 Corvette. There is no manual on it. They haven't changed the interior that much. But the only thing that they changed, they practically took the C8, did some changes to it, exterior wise, but we have a brand new engine. It's a very brand new engine. It's now called the LT6 engine, flat plane 5.5 liter, 670 horsepower. Flat plane naturally aspirated, 670 horsepower, no supercharger needed. If you remember from the C7 Corvette, the LT4 engine, which is the same LT4 engine that's on the ZL1, CTSV, and now the present CT5V Blackwing, that LT4 engine is producing 668 horsepower, almost 670 horsepower. That's not on the C8 Z06. It's naturally aspirated, the most powerful naturally aspirated V8 small block that GM has produced. There is a crate engine that I could talk later, and I don't know the name of it, but I will talk about that small block. That produces 1,008 horsepower. That's crazy to me. But we're getting sidetracked on that. But let's talk about a little bit about the LT6. But I'm gonna have to go really in depth on the LT6 later because I'm getting all the facts on it. But this is just a short video right now because right now there's been changes on my life right now. Just, we'll leave it on that. But when I have time, I will talk about it. The LT6 engine is the most powerful small block V8 without a supercharger, 5.5 liter, flat plane, dual overhead cam, V8. This is the first time that GM actually got a dual overhead cam V8 small block on a Corvette. Alright, and you're producing 670 horsepower. That's crazy. And if you hear that engine, that's almost reminiscent to a Ferrari. But I'm amazed that the LT6 produces that much power. But we finally got a dual overhead cam V8 on it. One thing I was really sad about, but I understand everybody is talking about this, is that while the automatic has a lot of benefits, faster shift times, we got the times to 0 to 60 to 2.6 seconds. And that's awesome for a 670 horsepower LT6 Z06 with that 8-speed Tremec transmission. again, for me, as being a Corvette and GM American muscle purist, again, the manuals are going to be one of the key things. And you can bash me all you want, I don't care. I ain't changing my mind on the manuals on it. But if you want a 670 horsepower V8 engine, you're better off getting the CT5V Blackwing. If you want a manual, get a CT5V Blackwing, because you're not gonna get it on the Z06. They're not. I don't think they're gonna put a manual, because I think they were talking about they're having a tough time trying to put a manual on it because of the firewall and the rear end on the mid-engine. I mean, while I see their point that the firewall could be an issue of not being able to put a manual on it, I come to question, why can't they, if Ferrari, who has a mid-engine V8, and also with Lamborghini, who had the V12 with a manual, if you look at examples like the Gallardo, the Murcielago, the F360 Spider, and many other Ferraris, mid-engine Ferraris with V8s on it, why can't you put a manual on it? I mean, and have an option. Could you have just designed the firewall in such a way? But it is what it is. I wish there was a manual on it. I would love to feel that LT6 engine without paddles. I want to shift that, at least with a 7-speed. But you know how it is. The times are changing. People don't want a manual. I don't know why. I don't know why the market is this way, or what narrative are they pushing. But it is what it is. But hopefully one day things can change. But maybe not the time now. So it's amazing that the flat plane 5.5 liter V8 dual overhead cam V8 small block LT6 produces that much power. That's good. That was good. That was pretty good. While the exterior is a lot of C8 base model, and the interior, yes. But I think there's much more to come to it. But we have to wait for a few things. The E-Ray has to come out. Zora has to come out. And I think, from rumors have it, the ZR1 might come out. Who knows? There's still a lot more trims coming out for the Corvette. But it's a stepping stone. It's a stepping stone. But the E-Ray is coming out soon. I will get to the E-Ray soon. There is a hybrid version, and it will come out, the E-Ray. So that's my take on the Sierra. GMC knocked it out of the park. I honest to goodness, if I were to choose between for me personally, for that off-road vehicle, for the ZR2 and the AT4X, I would choose the AT4X. I don't know, for some reason, for me growing up, I like the GMC. GMC has been my favorite brand. Chevrolet is there, they're the same, they're practically the same, but when it came to this time and season, for the past few years, like I was seeing back in 2014 and now, GMC has been knocking this out of the park. And especially when they came out with the 2021 Yukon Denali, they knocked that out of the park on the interior. I said, GMC, you're knocking it out. They're knocking it out. And congratulations to Chevrolet. You finally produced a naturally aspirated dual overhead cam V8. 670 horsepower. Not bad. So, that's all I got for now. We'll chat later. And I will do comparison videos. Bye.